Hey, what's up? Marco here. In the last few videos, we talked about some of the features that are only available in the nightly builds of Vim, because 0.12 is not out yet. We talked about how to use Vimpak. We talked about how to use the native LLM-based completion in 0.12. And maybe you were wondering, how do I go about managing different versions of Vim? You could actually build Neovim yourself with the current state in the master branch, or there are some repos that have the nightly builds. You could download the nightly builds manually from GitHub. Or with Brew on macOS, you could specify the --head option to just get the latest version. But it's not officially supported, I think. And maybe you also want to have another version so you can switch like to a stable version. A few weeks ago, I found out about another method we could use. There's actually a version manager for Neovim. It's called Bob. And today I'm going to show you how to install it and how to use it. So this is Bob's official GitHub page. If you scroll down there, here's a README, a little bit of a description here, what Bob actually is. And then there's the showcase, how you can use Bob. You just do Bob install a version number, and then you can use this. And you can also list the versions you have installed and switch easily between them. So further down here, there are some requirements listed if you want to install Bob manually, or if you actually want to install them from releases. There's some information about that here. I actually won't use this. I will use Brew to install it. So let's switch back to the terminal. So let's do this. I actually don't have Neovim installed right now, and I don't have Bob installed, but I'm going to use Brew to install Bob. It's just a small thing, so it doesn't take that long. And now I can do Bob use Nightly, and this should actually also install the Nightly build automatically if I don't have it installed already. Oh, since we do this the first time here, Bob asks us if we want to have a Bob managed Neovim binary and added it to our path automatically. I'm going to say yes. And now we should actually be able to use the Neovim Nightly build. So let's see if we really installed this. And we see we have the Nightly version installed, and now we should be good to go to actually use this. So nvim. Okay, this seems to not work. It's probably because of my a little bit complicated ZSH setup. So let's see what happened here. I've got this ZSH file that sets up my environment. And Bob actually added this line down here, but it doesn't seem to work. I think the problem is actually that on macOS, there's a global Z profile that overrides your path with something else. So we have to work around that. I'm gonna copy this line and add this to my ZSH RC at the end. So let's try this. I copied this. My ZSH RC is in config, ZSH, ZSH RC. Let's go down here and just paste this, write and quit, and open another window here. I'm going to run nvim again, and now it works. We are running the nvim nightly build here, as you can see. And let's just close this. And now let's try to install another version and switch between us. So we could actually just use again, and stable is another tag for the builds in Neovim. So this is the latest stable version. Let's list it out again. We see now Nightly is still installed, but installed and used is version 0.11.3, which is the latest stable version right now. And if I'm gonna open it up again, we see we get an error because I actually use some features like Vimpak from the Nightly version. So if you want to run different versions, you of course have to make sure that you run the correct configuration files for that. So Vimpak is not available in 0.11.3, so that's why this error occurred. I'm not sure if Bob can manage this somehow, but there's another simple way how you could do this. So then let's just create a second config for the stable version here. Let's make dir can't type config nvim stable and just switch into this directory. And let's just create an empty init lua here. So then we have something we can point nvim to. So now if we want to use this configuration, we can provide this environment variable nvim app name, and then we just use the name we gave it here for the configuration file, nvim stable, and then we just call nvim. And this will now use this configuration here if we start Neovim this way. Now we see we don't get any error, and let's actually just added this configuration file that you can see that this still works. So let's do a vim opt number true, write this and start this again. And now we see we have these line numbers here. So this is the configuration that gets loaded. So if you get any value out of my videos, if you like this video, like, subscribe to my channel. Also, there are some membership options down below. Maybe you want to support me even more, so you can use any of these. Thanks for watching. See you around and take care.